Hello guys, how you all doing? Hope you're all well. So, as the title suggests, let's talk about bugging in with kids, how to keep kids occupied if you've got a bug in for whatever the reason may be. So, obviously, you're going to need to keep kids occupied, and if it's a bug-in situation where there's no power and no internet, you're going to need other means to keep them occupied. Now, assuming that you've already got preps for no power, so you've got yourself a little solar generator or a little generator or whatever the case may be. I've got one. It's not here, it's actually in storage with the rest of our preps at the minute. So, but we have got other little bits around the house. So, just as a little quick one, keeping kids occupied if you've got it. I mean, if you've got kids and they've been off on one of the school holidays and it's been absolutely miserable and it's not been worth going anywhere, you know how hard it is to keep them occupied in peace times, as Mike would say. So, what do I mean by that? So you've got power, you've got internet, so they've got their iPads, they've got their consoles, they can go and FaceTime their mates or whatever. So what do you do when that is not the option? What do you do when, for whatever reason, there's no power and no internet? So you have to go back to what, like, my generation and the generations before us would have had to do in school holidays when it's miserable weather outside and there's no point in going anywhere. You have to just go back to old school. So there's a few things you can do, but you can still use some modern kid stuff for kids. Like we've got, again, it's in storage, I forgot to get them out last time. I've got, in our storage unit, I've got 3 big removal boxes full of DVDs, and there's 3 or 4 portable DVD players that can either take batteries or can be plugged into one of the bigger power banks. So we've got that up in storage, so if it ever hit the fan, we could go and get that. But if you haven't got that facility, then you're just going to have to stick to the old school stuff. So we'll get the more modern stuff out of the way first. So it's going to be stuff that doesn't need internet. So like your iPads, unless you've got no Wi-Fi games on there, they're going to be pointless because you can't watch Netflix, YouTube, nothing. So this has been sat in ours for years. It was my daughter's when she was a baby. What games in it? Oh, I think that's a chipped one with loads of games on. Go for like that. The old DS's. Do you know what I mean? You can pick them up for buttons and just throw them in your preps. Do you know what I mean? They don't take batteries. I don't think they do anyway. Well, they do take a battery, but it's a chargeable one. But they won't zap much power. So you could either plug it into your main power bank, what you're using, your generator or whatever, or if you've got, and I've only got one to hand, but power banks, do you know what I mean? We've got about 7 or 8 of these floating around the house, and I'm pretty sure there's the same amount up in storage as well. So, because these don't don't zap that much power to charge, you can just throw them on a power bank, charge it up, then charge your power bank back up off your main generator or whatever it is you're using. Do you know what I mean? You can keep them entertained with them as long as they can use it. But then other stuff, it's going to be like basics what we used to do as kids. Just go to your local pound shop, right? I think we've only got half a pack of this left in the house. It's just printer paper. If you go to your pound shop, you'll pick it up for about £1.50, £2 for a big massive pack of it like that. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got pens and pencils and felt tips in the house if you've got kids, so you're sound. You know what I mean? They can draw. My daughter's got colouring books upstairs. We've got colouring books in storage as well. So there's just a basic option. Colouring books, drawing paper. It's not expensive, like I said. Go to your local pound shop and you'll pick a pack of printer paper up for about 150, £2. So there's that. And then there's like all your games, your board games and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what that is. Like herding cats. So you'd have to put a cat mask on, and it's like playing charades, I think. That, all your other board games, your Monopolies, your Connect Fours, your Snakes and Ladders. Do you know what I mean? Again, they are in the house somewhere, I just don't know where. But we have got loads of board games in the house because the kids love playing them anyway. Do you know what I mean? So you've got your bigger board games like that. Then you've got your smaller games like, I mean, you can tell how much Uno gets used in our house. Do you know what I mean? After the Sunday dinner, just get Uno out and have a little bash. The kids love playing Uno. You can get all the different ones. My little lad's loving Jurassic World, so he's got the Jurassic World one there. Do you know what I mean? Simple game to keep them occupied. Might not last long, but it'll keep them occupied for a little while. Girls are always harder to keep occupied than boys. With my little lad, I could probably just take him out in the garden and go look for bugs, or do you know what I mean? He'd go out there hunting for bugs, like he's a little adventurer. Do you know what I mean? But girls, maybe not so much. So stuff like this, crystal art, painting, whatever it is, do you know what I mean? It's not sponsored by Taylor Swift, by the way. It's not sponsored at all. But it's just crystal art, do you know what I mean? And Nan got it into them, and she loves it. So we've got that one, what she's doing, and there's a couple upstairs in the loft. Do you know what I mean? There's a multitude of ways you can keep them occupied without power and without Wi-Fi. Again, for the little fella, like I said, he's loving Jurassic Park, Lego. Do you know what I mean? Lego is one of them things all dads buy for their sons, whether they want it or not. We've got tons of Lego in the loft, we've got tons in the box room, we've got loads in storage. So there you go, that's one for the little fella. And just so I'm not leaving the dads out, Dad Lego, Star Wars, I've got a Yoda one somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And for my daughter as well, she's into all that resin stuff and bracelet making, so she's got all them kits in her drawers already anyway. But if you haven't got them and you wanted to get stuff like that in just in case, do you know what I mean? They're not particularly expensive while you've still got power in the internet. Go on Amazon, go on eBay, buy them. Your board games, buy used board games from charity shops. It doesn't really matter, do you know what I mean? If they're just getting kept just in case, it doesn't matter as long as all the pieces are there. You know what I mean? There's nothing worse than buying a chess set and being missing 3 pieces. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just thought I'd do a little quick one, just for preppers who've got kids, or preppers who've got nieces and nephews who might come round to your house if you've got no power, or if shit hit the fan, do you know what I mean? Then it's not the end of the world, do you know what I mean? Well, it potentially could be, depending on the situation, but it's not the end of the world for the kids, keeping them entertained, do you know what I mean? There's plenty you can do. The likes of the consoles and that, there's no Wi-Fi. I mean, your console, you're not going to be wanting to use your generator or your solar generator, whatever you've got for power. You're not going to be wanting to use that to power a big telly. Like, I'm sitting in front of a big massive 50-inch telly with my PlayStation there now, and the Xbox underneath it. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to want to waste all that power charging them while you're playing on them. It's just pointless. So use the smaller things, and like I say, them, you can probably pick them and the newer ones up for less than 50 quid on eBay now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we got that one when my daughter was, I think she was about 4 or 5. Got it off some dodgy mate of my missus's. Just got it knock-offed or whatever. Not stolen, do you know what I mean? It was, what do you call it? Chipped, I don't know. Where it's just got loads of games on it on one card, do you know what I mean? It's just about keeping everything basic that you can, just in case, and they don't take up much space, do you know what I mean? If you're lucky enough like me and many others who've got a storage unit, then you just throw them all in a box, put them in there, and you're sound. If your unit's outside, as Mike found out, make sure everything you put in there is watertight. Don't put nothing in an outside storage unit that isn't wrapped and watertight, or in a box and sealed and watertight. Ours is fortunately an indoor one, so unless the roof gave way, we're alright. And it's easy access anyway, so it's just as simple as that. Other than that, the only other thing I'd suggest you keep in your preps is like sweets for the kids, treats for the kids, because you don't just want them to be eating boring prep food. Do you know what I mean? They're kids. They still need to be kids. So just keep like soft drinks, like bottles of flavoured water. Check the best by dates on bags of sweets, bags of jellies. I wouldn't go for jellies, I'd go for like sweets, you know, like chewits and stuff like that. Tends to last a bit longer. Freeze dried stuff as well, that lasts quite long, so you can always throw a few bags of freeze dried sweets in there. It all just depends on you and what your kids like, but at the end of the day, if the shit hit the fan and you had no power, at that point it doesn't matter what they're gonna just have to keep entertained with what's there, aren't they? So it's as simple as that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you. If it does, and you do, feel free to subscribe. It doesn't cost you nothing, and it'll help me grow this channel. Anyway, I've been Carl, the Scouse Prepper, and I'll catch you in a bit.